This starter fed the workers of the ancient pyramids 4,500 years ago. And this is Dough Bebe, born right here in my kitchen just 2 months ago. Many claim age matters, but I'm putting that to the test by making one loaf with each of our starters. Will they look, smell, or taste any different? Or is the 4,499-year age gap just a scam? Really working on my last nerve.
Look at that bubble. Oh my god.
Light, airy, easy to squish. Was it really worth it? Let's hold up. It's finally here. This sourdough starter cost me $45, so I really hope that it's worth the hype. I didn't unbox it because I wanted to unbox it with you, so let's open it up and see what's inside. Okay, at first glance, this is the starter itself. It also came with a little towel, and I guess the instruction. What is this? Okay, so I think what's going on here is that this is the live starter and this is the dried starter. I think we're gonna try this one. If it doesn't work, then this is our backup plan. So that's perfect. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is add 60 grams of the live starter into my jar. Oh my god, I can smell it already. It smells pretty good, so I'm pretty confident that, oh, it's very runny, which is very different than the sourdough starters that I have. I wonder if it's gonna be 60 grams. Okay, let's see. Oh my god. Okay, 60 right on the dot, 61. This is definitely a lot runnier than my sourdough starter, Dough Bebe. What they did say in the instructions is that a runny starter activates faster, so maybe that's why they left it so runny. So now I'm gonna add 60 grams, I'm gonna zero this, and I'm gonna add 60 grams of flour, or 63, because this was 63. So I'll add 63 grams of flour right on top, and then we'll add our water. Okay, that works. Okay, I have my warm water, and I'm gonna zero this one more time and add 62 grams of water into my jar. 61, oh, 63. And I'm gonna take this spoon and I'm just gonna mix everything together. Because the sourdough starter was so runny, it was honestly really easy to mix. They did also mention to not cover the starter with paper or towels, so I'm using this little lid that has a hole in the top so my starter can breathe. And that's it. I'm gonna keep an eye on this within the next few days, and hopefully we will have an active, beautiful, gorgeous 4,500-year-old starter. Okay, so it's the next morning and I have some updates for you, not that many. So I can't tell if it rose overnight or not because there's these little marks on the side, but I don't know if I made those when I was mixing it or if that happened because it rose up to here and then came back down. I honestly can't remember, but we're gonna feed it again, and there's some really good bubbles in here, so you can tell that the starter is alive and it's just not active yet. So we're gonna feed it again and see if by tomorrow we can have a live active starter. I'm just gonna add a lid very loosely on top. Just like that, like halfway, like it needs to breathe, it's alive, just like we do. And that's it. See you tomorrow. So, as you can see, Dough Mama is in a new jar and Dough Bebe is also alive and thriving. And let's take a closer look and see if there's any differences between these two starters. At first glance, they almost are identical. They both have bubbles, they're both breathing as I shake them. The only thing I can see that is different is, surprisingly, Dough Bebe has a more sour smell than Dough Mama's. But besides that, the color is the same, the rise was about the same. I fed them the exact same amounts. I guess the important thing is really what the bread tastes like, so let's get to baking them. One thing about me is that I am not a sourdough baker, and I'm not gonna go out and buy expensive equipment just to bake some sourdough. All I need is a bowl and some tea towels to make my own banneton, but one thing that I do need is a really good quality, heavy-duty Dutch oven, and Crustic was nice enough to sponsor this video and send over this gorgeous Dutch oven that I'll tell you a little bit more about later. I'm gonna start with mixing Dough Mama first, and I'm gonna try to keep everything as equal and accurate as possible so we can really see if there's a difference between these two breads. The first thing I need is 100 grams of my 4,500-year-old starter. I'm gonna add 375 grams of water, and I'm gonna grab my whisk and I'm gonna mix that all together. I'm gonna turn this towards me just to make my life a little bit easier, and then zero that, and I'm gonna grab my flour, which was not filled. Somebody was supposed to fill it for me, but I guess I'll have to do that. I probably fill this like 20 times a week and somehow it's still always empty. But you know what? This has made my arms so strong. Okay, fiance, a little bit of help. You know what? This has made my arms so strong. I'm gonna add 500 grams of my flour into my sourdough. It's just regular all-purpose flour. I think it's unbleached. And we're gonna add 500 grams in here. We're doing about 10 grams of salt. And I'm realizing now that like grinding the salt like this is not gonna get me anywhere. So we're just gonna, because it was still at 0 grams after all those. That's too much of an arm workout for me. 10 grams of salt. And that's it for dough mama. I'm just gonna get in there with my hands. We don't really need another spatula. I already made enough dishes dirty, so I'm just gonna get in there with my hands and bring it all together. And then we're gonna get started on dough baby. I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. I have killed a lot of sourdough starters in my day. Looks like we got cut off there, but dough baby and dough mama have been mixed and they're ready to rest so that in 30 minutes we can stretch and fold them. Good night, ladies. Okay, it's been 30 minutes and both of our ladies have rested. So I'm gonna give them each some stretch and folds now. And while I'm stretching, folding dough mama, I'm actually gonna tell you a little bit about her history and where she came from and how she came to be 4,500 years old. So in 1991, archaeologists discovered an ancient bakery in Egypt. And this doctor named Edward calls them up and suggests going to the bakery to scrape the walls and find the world's oldest sourdough culture. And he did it. According to the store where I bought this sourdough starter, it was even featured on National Geographic. So this sourdough really is 4,500 years old, and we have it right here in our hands to bake a fresh loaf with. I'm so excited, even if it tastes just like mine. The thought of having a loaf that came from the pyramids of Egypt honestly just gets me so excited. Okay, dough mama is ready to rest again, and we're gonna do 2 more sets of stretch and folds, and then I'm gonna come back for the last one that we're gonna do together before we go to our bulk fermentation. Okay, let's check in on dough baby and dough mama and see if they're ready for some shaping. Here we go. Okay, she actually looks very good. I'm honestly so proud of this starter that I made. So I'm gonna add a little bit more flour just to help with the shaping. Look at that bubble. Oh my god. Okay, wait, I think we need to pop these. There we go. Okay, let's dump out dough mama and see what she's looking like. Dough mama's looking pretty good. I feel like she's gonna be a little bit smaller than dough baby. She's a little stickier for sure. But hopefully with the cold ferment, she'll come together too. These two are coming together so beautifully. Now we're gonna do a second shape. And you'll see here that I have my bowls cleaned and I added the little strawberry tea towel in here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some rice flour. This is the secret ingredient for making your own homemade banneton. Not all-purpose flour, that will make it stick. But if you put rice flour all over this tea towel and then also on top of the surface of your dough, then it will not stick and you'll have your own homemade banneton. So that's what I'm gonna do for these two. You have to get like every single inch of it. So we'll start with dough baby first. We'll move dough mama out of the way. Okay, so we're gonna get some all-purpose flour onto the counter, slap dough baby down on there, pull him out very lightly this time because it's our second shape. We're gonna fold down, fold up, pull this side in, pull this side in, and then flip, and then just drag it on the counter and make sure that it's really, really tight. Okay, so I'm gonna absolutely cover the top of this in rice flour. And then I'm gonna grab my little makeshift banneton and I'm just gonna dump it into there. And then I'm gonna stitch the top so that it's really, really tight. And then I'm just gonna close this on top of it. And then dough baby is ready to go into the fridge. So we're gonna do the same thing for dough mama. I'm so very worried about dough mama because she's a little bit runny and I'm not sure that she's gonna hold her shape. but I'm gonna do everything that I possibly can to make sure that she succeeds because I really want to taste some 4,500-year-old sourdough. Bloop. And then I'm gonna stitch the top again. I don't know. Dough Mama is really working on my last nerve, but hopefully she's worth all this extra effort. We're gonna close her up, put her in the fridge, and hope for the best. See you ladies in 2 days. Dough Bebe and Dough Mama are ready to bake, but they can't bake to perfection without the perfect bread oven. Which brings me to today's sponsor, Crustic, that is making this video possible. Unlike most Dutch ovens, this bread oven is specifically designed for the perfect loaf of sourdough. It's made with top quality, non-toxic ingredients so you don't have to worry about toxins in your food. And it comes with a bread mat so you don't even need to waste parchment paper. Most bread ovens of this quality will cost you over $300, but you'll be surprised at how much you can grab one of these for. I'll leave a special link in the description below. And now for what I care about the most, let's put Dough Mama into the oven and see if Crustic can deliver the perfect crust. I'm a little worried about Dough Mama because she's looking very flat. She doesn't have a nice dome top, but we're still gonna bake and see if she actually comes out really nice and domed once it comes out of the oven. I have some sad news. I don't think Dough Mama turned out the way that she was supposed to. She's very flat. She's not really domed on the top, kind of what I expected, but I will say I don't think it's Dough Mama's fault and I don't think it's Crustic's fault. I think it might have been my fault. So I'm gonna redo this all again, but you don't have to wait 2 days. I'll be right back in just a second. Okay, I'm back with an update. So attempt number 2 was better than attempt number 1, but my sourdough is still flat. You can see the crumb is very dense and it just didn't get the rise that it was supposed to. But I am determined to get this right. I don't think it's Dough Mama or Dough Bebe. I think it's me. So I enlisted the help of some sourdough experts and they give me some tips like decreasing my hydration and increasing my proofing time. So I'm gonna try again and make sure that I can get the perfect loaf so that I can test a 4,500-year-old sourdough. And I will say Crustic has been a huge help because I've had to make so many sourdoughs till now. I've made 4 and I'm gonna make 2 more and it's honestly been a trooper. It's been so easy to clean, which is like a big thing. It doesn't get dirty and if it does, I kind of just wipe it down with some water and soap. The mat has made it so easy to transfer the sourdoughs into the bread oven and overall it just heats up really quickly. I've been really happy with it and I'm so determined to bake a beautiful loaf in here so we can really put it to its full potential. So I'm gonna go do some more magic. Hopefully 3rd time is the charm and I'll see you back when it's ready. Okay, I'm checking in vlog style. I didn't plan on doing this, but this is what they call a dough. I am so happy with how the 3rd attempt turned out. Look at these bubbles. You just have to get in. Unreal. I think these ones are gonna turn out good and I'll tell you what I did differently tomorrow once they bake up to perfection. I haven't even changed out of my outside clothes yet, but I was so excited to come home and shape these. I had a feeling this time it was gonna work. Watch this dump. It should peel right off of the bowl if it's a really good dough. Oh yeah. This is Dough Mama. Oh my God, it feels so good. I don't even know how to explain it. It feels like, look at the bubbles. Wait, you have to get the bubbles. Oh my God, this is an entire bubble, this whole thing. I'll tell you a little bit more about how I came to this gorgeous dough tomorrow. My friends on Reddit did help me out a little bit. Shout out to them. This shapes up so easily. The other ones were so like runny. Look, this is Dough Mama, which is technically a more runny dough, but she's like full tension already. Like it doesn't even need a second shape, even though we are gonna do one. The important thing about sourdough is to never, ever, ever peel it out of the bowl yourself. It should fall right out or else it's not ready. Let's see if he has. Dough Bebe has the same bubbles that Dough Mama had. It doesn't even need flour on the counter. It's like a magical dough. I think the thing about sourdough is that using a recipe is very unpredictable. You kind of just have to get a feel for the dough, but once you do, it's so satisfying. I don't think you can understand after 5 days and like 6 sourdoughs, this is the best feeling in the world. Done. I'll see you tomorrow for hopefully 2 perfect sourdoughs. My 2 loaves are finally done, and I'm here to report that the crust stick bread oven did in fact deliver on their promise of a perfect crust. So I have loaf number 1 over here and loaf number 2 over here. Before I tell you which is which, let me tell you what I did a little bit differently with the help of my friends on Reddit. So I was doing everything right, the bulk ferment, how long I was leaving it for, cold fermenting. The only thing I was doing wrong was using way too much water in my recipe. So I lowered the hydration, kind of eyeballed it instead of going on a strict recipe, and I ended up with 2 gorgeous loaves. The grand reveal, before I tell you my thoughts on each loaf, this is Dough Mama, aka the 4,500-year-old sourdough. And this is Dough Bebe, the humble 2-month-old. Based on my initial thoughts, I am thinking Dough Bebe is a stunner. She is a showstopper. She has a gorgeous ear, beautiful rise, very nice dark crust. Dough Mama, on the other hand, she looks like a good sourdough, but she doesn't have as much of an ear. Even though I scored these exactly the same, she also doesn't have as dark of a crust. Again, I don't know if that's me, but I did the exact same method, preheated the Dutch oven and the oven for the exact same time, and let them bake for the exact same amount of time too. So everything is identical in these 2 loaves. This one has a better shape, better rise, better ear. This one, on the other hand, is a little bit lacking. What really matters is what's on the inside, so let's see the crumb before we do a blind taste test to see if I can really tell these 2 loaves apart. This is Dough Bebe. Okay, she's got some bubbles. She's light, airy, easy to squish. For a dough that was made with like 60% hydration and all-purpose flour, I think this is really good. And this is Dough Mama. 4,500 years in the making, 5 days in the making in my kitchen. Was it really worth it? Let's see. Honestly, I actually think this is a really good crumb. Better than I thought it was gonna be. I thought Dough Bebe was gonna blow her out of the water, but Dough Mama's hanging in there. She looks good. But of course, we have to do the blind taste test now to see if I can really tell these 2 loaves apart, or if it's all just a marketing gimmick. So fiance is gonna come in, cut these, and he won't tell me which is which. I'll see if I can guess for myself. Okay, here we have 2 pieces of bread. I have no idea which is which. Fiance cut them up for me. Hopefully he doesn't forget which is which. But I'm gonna do a little taste test, smell test, see if I can tell which one is a 4,500-year-old sourdough. Okay, this is the first one. It smells like slightly sour. You can definitely tell it's sourdough from the smell. Okay, the second one is less sour than this one. So this one smells more sour than this one. Okay, let's taste it and see which one tastes better. Gonna grab a little bit of butter. This is bread number 1, or number 1. It tastes really good. It's chewy. It doesn't taste very sour. It could pass as like just a regular artisanal loaf, but the crust is really nice. The chew is really nice. Let's see number 2. Hold up. Okay, this one is way better. This is definitely better. I don't know what it is. It's so much lighter and more airy. It's easier to chew. And it just has that like slight tangy taste. Okay, fiance, I think I have my answer. I think bread number 2 is the 4,500-year-old sourdough.
Ding, 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 ding.
Can I just say something? I owe the 4,500-year-old sourdough starter such a big apology because I was so mean to her throughout the whole process. I was like, no, she's weak. Her dough is too runny. Like, she just doesn't have the same rise as Dough Bebe. Maybe I was just being a proud mother, but yeah, there is no comparison. I don't even know what it is. I don't know if it just tastes like Egypt, but this one is way better. And I hope that one day Dough Baby can strive to be as good as Dough Mama, but for now, I will just keep both on hand. Thank you again to today's sponsor, Crustic, for making this video possible. I'll leave a link to them down below so you can check out the bread oven for yourself. And thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for so much more.